watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. An animal shelter in Davao City is in danger of losing its rescued and rehabilitated dogs and cats after the local government ordered its closure. The Davao City government ordered to close the Happy Animals Club shelter in late September after its city health office acted on a complaint that the animals were allegedly causing foul odor and loud noises in a residential area. Founder Ken Amante says their gates were padlocked based on a baseless complaint from their neighbor who wanted them to move out. He adds they were warned that the animals will be taken to a dog pound and they could no longer rehabilitate animals in need of help. Let's go straight to the source of the story. We have Animals Club founder Ken Amante. Ken, thank you so much for your time and welcome to the source.
Thank you. Hello, ma'am.
Okay, Ken, saw your reel on Instagram. Actually, it was forwarded to me by a friend, and I'll be transparent about it. It was Corina Sanchez who forwarded that to me. I want to start first with a backstory. You were 9 years old. You put up an animal shelter called Happy Animals Club, and this was back in 2014. There's a very, very touching story behind this, because you were actually feeding strays, using your allowance to buy food without your father's knowledge. So from what I was reading, he followed you one day and saw what you were doing. Tell us what happened. I want you to be able to tell that story.
Yeah, right. After school and sometimes while I was walking my dog, I would buy dog food and feed these 3 stray dogs in my subdivision. And so my dad followed me one time and he took pictures, and that story went viral. And we got lots of support online and overseas for that. And thanks to that support, I was able to accomplish my dream of starting an animal shelter.
Why was that your dream? Tell us the journey from, at a very young age. How old were you? 7 or 8 when you started feeding animals, and you had one rescue dog and 2 cats, or is it 2 rescue dogs and 1 cat? You started with that.
Yeah. The shelter started from those 3 dogs, and many cats we already had over the years. I was surrounded by animals growing up, so I've always loved them. And once I heard about animal shelters and the lack of them in the Philippines, I wanted to bring that here because there were so many strays everywhere I looked growing up.
When you were feeding those strays, when your dad followed you, I think you named them Blackie, Brownie, and Whitey.
Yeah, that's correct.
Are they still around?
Yeah, see, Blackie and Whitey are still around.
Wow.
Sadly, Brownie passed away a few years ago.
Because I asked that because this was 9 years ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they must be around 9 or 10 years old. How many dogs and cats do you presently have in the Happy Animals Club?
I'd say around 300, I'm pretty sure.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Ken, and how do you manage to be able to rescue, take care, medicate, feed these animals?
But we work around the clock. It's a very busy job throughout the night as well.
Does it ever get tiring for you?
Yeah, but it's worth for the dogs and the cats because the change when they rehabilitate and become happier.
300, okay, that's a lot, 300 of them. Everything was good, I guess, since 2014 when you were 9 years old and you were able to build this Happy Animals Club. It's a 1,000 square meter lot, right? That you constructed, obviously a fence. Tell us more about what's inside.
Right. When we started, the lot was very bare. But over the years, we managed to construct dog yards, section off the areas for cats, so-called dog apartments and such, and feeding bays. And we've invested a lot of time and money over the years on this property to make it the way it is now.
Yeah. So everything was good, I guess you would say, until the animal shelter was
Right.
padlocked by the city government. When did this happen and why?
This whole dispute started like a few weeks ago after we got a complaint from our neighbors. Well, the neighbors complained to city health, and which is very surprising because since the 4 years they've been our neighbors, they haven't made any complaints with us or city health. So this was really came out of nowhere.
Did you try to talk to them and ask why?
Yes, we've tried to come to an understanding with them, but they're really not willing to talk with us much.
So can run us through what happened. So a couple of weeks ago, the problem started when what happened?
Well, this has actually been happening a few months already. In 2021, our landlady passed away, Ma'am Maria Pasita Kimpo, and someone else, Sir Alyadin, is trying to take over our property, trying to get ownership, but he's having trouble doing that. So he's trying to get it kicked out with the help of our neighbors because they also want us gone. Little did we know.
And they want you gone because?
Our neighbors, because we have a suspicion that they're the buyer of this property. We're not sure.
What did
But
the,
they're the ones who moved in next to us, so we're very confused at that.
and why were you closed?
But yeah, the complaint was about foul odor, which is a nonsensical complaint. It's invalid, especially because like our neighbors can't smell anything. Anyone who visits the shelter will testify that there is no smell. It's just a bogus complaint that they're using to try to get rid of us.
I looked at some of the documents and it said foul odor and I believe noise.
Oh, that's correct.
Right. So there are two.
Which is
Go ahead.
yeah, foul odor and noise complaint, which are both pretty nonsensical.
In your.
The dogs are usually behaved.
Go ahead, Ken. They're usually behaved.
All right. Well, we have staff around the clock to make sure that they keep quiet because they know how to keep the dogs quiet. They may howl every now and then, but it's for a very short period, and it's not really an issue to our neighbors, other than Memorial Construction, the ones who want us gone.
All right. We'll be taking a very short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Pinky Webb. Our source today, Happy Animals Club founder Ken Amante. Ken, I want to find out from you, have you sought the assistance of some legal advice, some lawyers? Because I want to find out, number one, are foul odor and noise, to which you're saying is untrue, are these bases for them to shut down the animal shelter?
Yeah, we recently got a lawyer, and we're not completely convinced that they're allowed to do that. So we have filed to for a reinvestigation because we don't trust the investigator that was assigned to us, the Sir Mark Serrano, and we'd like if they could consider reinvestigating.
And look into these claims of supposed foul odor and noise.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What did they tell you after they closed the shelter? Because in your Instagram post, you were saying that you were given 3 days. 3 days to do what?
we were given 3 days to move and transfer all the dogs, which is um, just not possible.
Can you repeat that, please? 3 days to move and what?
To move and transfer all the dogs, which is not just not possible, and it's not in our budget to completely relocate the shelter in such a short amount of time.
Did they even say where you could possibly move, or did they just tell you you just have to get out of there and bring all your hundreds of dogs?
Right. They just wanted us. They just told us to get out of there and somehow find a place to put our dogs.
And what about all the construction that you've put up there? Everything, how you've renovated that place? Did they have any response or answer to that?
Not particularly. They just want the property and stuff.
So now, if what is your plan if you're given 3 days?
3 days.
And when
we're
does that
hoping-
end, Ken? When does the 3 days end?
3 days. I think we've already passed that a few days ago.
Okay.
But our plan is to hope that they reconsider, thanks to our supporters and just general public pushback.
Yeah, I think you've been receiving that post of yours has gone viral. Well, over 100,000 views last I checked a while ago. So you will stay there, hoping that there's a reconsideration on the matter.
Or at least until we can get this sorted legally in court, instead of City Health ordering us to completely shut down our shelter.
Now, did your lawyer say that you can file something in court to protect the animal shelter?
We did try a TRO. That hasn't been that helpful so far, but we're hoping that just a counter complaint will be helpful enough against City Health Department.
Yeah. It's possibly the faster way, really, to address this issue is a reinvestigation with the LGU to look into the case of the Happy Animals Club. Please I want to give you this time to appeal to the LGU or even to those watching right now, Ken.
Thank you. To anyone involved, I hope you'd reconsider, because the shelter has done a lot of good over the years, and we really just want to help animals and help rehabilitate them. At the very least, we'd like this very nonsensical report to be dismissed, and we're hoping that we can solve this legal dispute about property with Sir Aliadin and the Memorial Corporation in court in the proper way.
And Ken, to you, your father, your volunteers, the veterinarians, the donors, thank you so much for the selfless act of rescuing abandoned dogs left on the streets, for caring for them, for loving them, and for giving them the proper medical attention. We wish you luck. Happy Animals Club founder Ken Amante, and we will continue to get updated on this story. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, ma'am.
Meanwhile, CNN Philippines has reached out to the Davao City local government for their side on the issue, and they have yet to respond. Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Pinky Webb. You're watching CNN Philippines.